Hello everyone. Yesterday we had discussed an overall digestion which takes place in human beings. But I know as you have studied about it for the first time and it is difficult to understand this new concept by studying only one time. So let me repeat the digestion which takes place in the human body. As I said to you that this topic is really very important. See students, I think you people have understand that how we people are taking the food inside. We are taking it through the mouth and then we start chewing the food. The process of chewing the food is known as mastication. Clear? I think now you will be able to define mastication. Okay? Now students, next thing is that the part of our body which includes salivary glands, tongue, mouth and teeth is known as buccal cavity, and it is the starting point of the digestion, from where the digestion in human beings takes place, isn't it? Now students, after that the food reaches to the stomach with the help of what? Esophagus. Now what is esophagus? Beta, it is a narrow tube-like structure which does not perform any type of digestion. What does this sentence mean? Means not even a single type of nutrients will digest in this narrow pipe. This narrow pipe is established a connection between mouth and the stomach. It means the digestion takes place in mouth. It starts in mouth and later on it will start continued in the stomach. Does not takes place in esophagus. Now after that, esophagus will perform the process of peristalsis. Now what is peristalsis? Think about it by your own. I will not going to repeat the definition of peristalsis. I think you people are getting it, and if you are not getting it, now then see the previous video. Okay, now after that the food reaches in the stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped organ and it is a second, and in the stomach the second step of digestion takes place, where the gastric juices and dilute hydrochloric acid released from the glands which are present on the inner surface of the stomach. Now what will happen? These gastric juices contain one enzyme which is known as pepsin. This pepsin is meant for the digestion of protein. Clear? P for pepsin and P for protein. Now after that what will happen? The food which entered through the esophagus in the stomach was known as bolus. Now that bolus will get mixed with gastric juices and known as chyme. Now when food is entering in the stomach, it is known as bolus, and when food is transferred from the stomach to the next level, that is small intestine, then it is known as chyme. Clear everyone? It means now wait. Now small intestine, it is the third stage of digestion. It is a highly coiled tube-like structure which is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. The semi-solid food enters, that semi-solid food is known as chyme, enters the small intestine. It is treated by two secretions. See, now there are two glands which are lying near the stomach, that is liver and pancreas. Pancreas just below the stomach, and by the side of stomach liver is situated. Now it is treated, that food, that chyme is treated by the secretion of two glands. Whatever the secretion, whatever the liquid is released from these two glands, the food is treated with them. Okay students? Now after that, after that about liver. A very large gland present in front of the stomach. It produces what? Bile juice. Bile from the liver is collected and stored in the gallbladder before releasing into the small intestine. As I told you yesterday also, that bile juice, the liver is secreting the bile juice continuously, but it gets stored in the gallbladder. Now, when our body needs to digest the fat, or we are performing some different type of exercises, means our body is in working mode, then gallbladder start releasing that bile juice to which help in the digestion of fats. Now one student has called me yesterday and she said that if someone is not having gallbladder, then what will happen? Definitely beta, if gallbladder is removed from the body of a person, then bile juice will not stored. Definitely that person is having problem in the digestion of fats. The digestion process is not proper in the body of that person who is not having gallbladder. Clear everyone? And doctor used to suggest such type of person to eat light foods, having less fat. Okay? Now see, as you all understand that fat is a very complex compound. It needs lot of energy to break. That's why if a person is having a lot of fat in their diet, then they will suffer from the obesity. Isn't it? It means there is some smaller units of all these food nutrients, whatever we are eating. Fat is a food nutrient. When it get break, definitely it will turn into some smallest unit, so that we will get the energy from these fats or any other food nutrients. Okay, later on I will tell you the smallest unit of all these food nutrients. Okay, now students, bile helps in breaking the fat into tiny droplets so that it can be easily digested. After that, the next gland is pancreas. Pancreas present just below the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juice. The juice which is released from pancreas is known as, yes, the answer is pancreatic juice, which helps in the digestion of proteins and starch. Yes, this pancreatic juice helps in the digestion of proteins and starch. Now, maximum of you will start thinking about that amylase was the enzyme who is helping in the digestion of starch. Yes, beta, the digestion of starch begins from the mouth only. And amylase enzyme, which is present in saliva, start the digestion of starch. But that amylase enzyme is not completely digest the starch. Still, our stomach receive the starch, because starch is a complex food item. Now after that, when it reaches to small intestine, then pancreatic juice again act on that left starch molecules and start breaking it into smaller particles. When pancreatic juice breaks the protein, then protein will also convert into small molecules, small particles. Okay, that small particles of protein is known as amino acids. Clear? Now what are amino acids? Beta, amino acids is a type of chemical. A number of amino acids are combining together to form a long chain, a complex chain of proteins. Clear? And when the chain of proteins get break, then it will get converted into small particles of amino acids. Okay, let me give you some examples of amino acids after the completion of this chapter. Clear everyone? Yes, now there are some important points that you should write in your notebook, because many of the one word question answers will come from these small points. You will get different questions on the basis of these points. Just write it down in your notebook. Start writing everyone. Yes, amylase is the enzyme present in saliva. Yes, the question may come in any of the form. They can ask which enzyme is present in saliva, or they can ask amylase is present where amylase is present? Then you have to tell the answer is saliva, and if they are asking the name of the enzyme, you have to tell about amylase. Okay, now the second one is saliva help in the digestion of starch present in food. The question may come in the form that which food nutrients digest in saliva? Digestion of which food nutrients starts in saliva? Then the answer will be starch. Okay. Now after that, pepsin is the enzyme present in his stomach and helps in the digestion of protein. Then which enzyme is responsible for the digestion of protein? Pepsin. Clear? One more point which is written in your book, you have to follow that from your book, is that renin is the enzyme which helps in the digestion of milk. Renin, R-E-N-I-N. Renin is the enzyme which helps in the digestion of milk. See students, renin is the enzyme which is present in the body of infants, बच्चों की body में. And you all know that infants are those child where the age of such child is 0 to 2 years. Okay, are known as infants. See, now the infants mostly depend on milk for getting the nutrition. They used to drink milk a lot. They are not eating roti sabzi like us, as they are very small. So thus they need some more enzymes to digest their milk, because milk is a heavy diet. Yes, renin is the enzyme which is present in the body of infants, which helps in the digestion of protein. Okay students, you have to remember about renin also. The question will come in multiple choice question on renin. Okay? Yes. Role of dilute hydrochloric acid in the stomach is to kill the harmful bacteria entered through the food. Yes. The question may come in the form, what is the role of dilute hydrochloric acid in the stomach? Why it is not harming our body? Although hydrochloric acid is an acid, but why our stomach contain dilute hydrochloric acid? The question may come in any of the form and you have to answer. The answer will be same for all these questions. Okay. Now the next point is, esophagus is the muscular tube. Muscular tube, as you all know, it is performing the expansion and contraction. It means there must be some muscles over there. Okay. In the walls of esophagus, which helps in the performance. Okay. Now esophagus is the muscular tube which does not perform any type of digestion. Yes, as I told you that no digestion takes place in esophagus. I think you will never forget these things ever and ever now. Yes, now as I told you that I will tell you about the smallest unit of all the food nutrients, all the essential food nutrients. Here these are. Smallest unit of fats is the fatty acids. Yes, fat is a complex compound, and when it get braked with the help of bile juice, then it get converted into fatty acids. Yes, the smallest unit of protein is, here in is written, it is, consider it as is. Okay, amino acids. The smallest unit of carbohydrates is glucose. Yes students, as you all know that if we are feeling faint or low, then we have to take a glass of Glucon-D, and which gives us an instant energy. You all know that Glucon-D contains glucose, that is the simplest form of carbohydrates. That's why when we are eating the simplest form, then we don't need any help in the process from the process of digestion. That glucose is itself a simplest unit. That's why we are getting the energy instantly. Okay students, now after completing this work, start writing one more question in your notebook fast. That is long question number 1. There are 4 differences, and today we will do only 2. Differentiate between ingestion and egestion. Differentiate between ingestion and egestion. Yes, ingestion. Yes, this is the answer. Watch it clearly. Yes, now. Ingestion. Taking in food inside the body. That is known as ingestion. And egestion, throwing out waste from the body. Whatever the waste released in the process of digestion, we have to throw it out. That is known as egestion. Later on, we will study about egestion tomorrow, okay? Now, it is the first level of digestion. Yes, as you all know that if we will not going to be take the bite of the food, no process will take place. That's why it is the first level of digestion. And it is the last step of digestion. You can use step word instead of level, okay? Both are same. It is done by mouth. It is done by anus. Clear? Anus is the opening which helps in the egestion, throwing out the waste, and mouth is an opening which helps to take the food inside. Okay, everyone? Now after that, the second differentiate between Holozoic and parasitic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition, some solid whole food particles, or we can say solid whole particles of food are taken in, is called Holozoic mode of nutrition. Animals derive nutrition from the body of other animals, is the parasitic mode of nutrition. Now, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, egestion are the steps in Holozoic mode of nutrition. But parasitic mode of nutrition does not have such type of steps, but it has two types. That's why we are giving that two types over here. Ectoparasites and endoparasites are the types of nutrition in parasitic mode. If animals is depend from the outside on the host, then it is ecto. And if it depends from inside, then they are endo. Okay, endoparasites. Endo means from inside and ecto means from outside. Okay, now few examples which are based on Holozoic or parasitic. Human beings, amoeba, cow, loin, etc. are the examples. Mosquitoes, leeches, tapeworm, roundworm are the examples of parasitic nutrition. I think these things are clear to you all. Now what will be your homework? Yes, students, the homework question, long question number 5, based on today's topic. Digestion of food starts in the mouth and gets completed in the small intestine. Yes, students, digestion will finish in the small intestine. Later on, large intestine is not playing any role in digestion. It is performing the role of absorption that we will study tomorrow. Okay? Comment. This is the statement that digestion of food starts in the mouth and gets completed in the small intestine. This is a statement. You have to justify this statement, or you have to give your comments on this statement. Okay? Draw a labeled sketch of human digestive system and explain. Clear? Clear? You have to answer this question as your own. Okay, students? Okay. Thank you, everyone.